If you've been watching the news recently at all, then you know, just like I do, that these economic times seem scary. You know, it wasn't that long ago that in the US, a single family income worked. You could have one person working and the family would have enough to get by. They could have housing, they could buy food, and they could even save a little bit for the future. Even less time ago than that, families realized and had to move to a multiple income family, usually a dual income family. If you had a married couple, both of them started working. And that was enough for them to have a place to live and food and to even save a little bit for the future. Today, the answer isn't a single family income. It's not a multiple family income. The answer today is multiple streams of income. And that is how you can bridge the gap between where you're at and where you want to be. If you've been to this channel before, my wife Melody and I teach people how to do eBay. That is our side hustle that eventually became our primary income. It is not my only income. I have multiple streams of income. I have retirement, I have eBay, I have some YouTube, and I even have some Amazon associate stuff that I get coming in. I have multiple streams of income. And I really think that that's how you manage building enough income and wealth to be successful. So I want to talk to you about 5 side hustles that you can do depending upon where you're at and what you are, and it's a matter of finding one that suits you. And in addition to, I'll finish it up with talking a little bit about what this channel is primarily about, and that's reselling online, primarily on eBay. But I want to hit some side hustles that you may or may not have thought about. I am not an expert in these other side hustles, but there's information out there. And one of these side hustles is one that I don't see a lot of that I think there might be a big need for. So let's roll with it. Speaking of rolling with it, my first one is driving. There is a major caveat with this one is you have to have reliable transportation. If you have reliable transportation, then you have things like Lyft and Uber and DoorDash and Grubhub. These are people that are helping move people from one place to another or bringing groceries to the elderly who can't do it. There's a lot of different opportunities with a lot of different companies or on your own if you could develop your own clientele. It is important that you remember that it isn't all profit. There's going to be wear and tear on your vehicle. You've got some, you got to make sure you're properly covered on insurance, tires and gas and oil changes. All of those things cost money. And if you own a car, you know that, but it's something to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out if that side hustle is paying enough for you. There's a ton of information on each one of those out there. But if you have reliable transportation and you're at home today wondering how can I add another stream of income, that one might work for you. So let's move on to the second one. The second one is photography, and I'm going to go in a direction that I think there's a huge need for because of what I do. Product photography is a deal. We sell on eBay, and I live so far out in the country, there isn't anybody consistent and reliable around me, but if I could take my product to them and they bring it back to me and it's photographed and ready for me to list, just photographing products for people to sell on platforms like eBay and Poshmark and Etsy and Mercari, there's a huge need for that. And with a little bit of marketing, you could pick up 1 or 2 clients and have enough of a side hustle to cover you for a very, very long time. So if you have a good camera, and keep in mind, most modern smartphones have a good camera. You don't have to have a DSLR, but obviously the better equipment you have, the better photographs you can take. More clients you're going to have, the more your prices will be. Let's move on to the third one. That was mowing lawns, yard service, shoveling snow. Obviously, this one favors the fit, favors youth. But if you're able to push a mower or ride a mower or shovel snow, there are people that need those services. And a lot of times it's simply a matter of going and knocking on doors, finding people that you can offer that service to at a price that is workable for you. Again, wear and tear, you gotta have gas, you gotta have the equipment. It's not free for you to offer those things, but it's certainly a viable side hustle because it's how I survived when I wound up in Texas, mowing lawns in the Texas heat. That side hustle led me to do other things, but that side hustle could have very easily led to me having a lawn business. Let's move on to the next one. I have worked on houses my whole life, and I'm what they call handy. So I can fix just about anything at a pretty good level. And I can tell you as a homeowner who now I don't have the time to do a lot of these things, if you're reliable and handy, there are a ton of opportunities out there. And very, very quickly, you get one or two good references and you will be busier than you can possibly imagine. I've never met an out-of-work electrician. The electricians out there who are watching this, raise your hand if I'm wrong, point at me if I'm wrong, comment below if I'm wrong. But if you're a qualified electrician, everybody you know has a job they would like for you to do. And we already know that it isn't any different if you have some plumbing skills. You know, there's a lot of people that would pay just to get a new float put in a toilet. I'm going to go on to the next one. This one I thought of just because I need one and I don't have one. I hate having a garage sale. If I have a garage sale, I don't even care what the stuff sells. I just want it gone. If you love running garage sales, like you like the whole process of setting up and organizing it and pricing it and running it, I think that's the key. You got to be willing to work. You could charge a healthy percentage of everything that sells and run that for somebody. You'd have a day setting it up or 2 days setting it up, a day or two of running it. And just like, you know, a lot of estate sales charge in that 35 to 40% range, there isn't any reason that a garage sale wouldn't do the same. And on your end, I think especially if you lived anywhere with any moderate population, you would be busier than you could possibly imagine. You would have no inventory of your own that you would be selling. It seems like there's a need there because I need one. Maybe that doesn't pan out to the rest of the world, but I think that it could. And if you were good at it, I think you'd have all the business that you could ever want. And you could potentially work a couple of days a week. You could work Thursday and Friday night getting it set up at your customer's house. Tell them that you'll be there Saturday morning bright and early. And you'll run the whole thing. And at the end, you'll give them a list of how much you made. And you pull your commission right out of it. And then you're done. And that would just be as simple as a written contract between the two of you stating what was going to happen. And the last one, the one I'm obviously the most familiar with, is eBay. We started with items we had around the house, and instead of sitting on them or putting them in a storage locker somewhere, we listed them on eBay and got them sold. And I had a lumber mill, and I would end up with more lumber than anybody should have, and I would sell some to pay for my woodworking tools. I have a ton of tutorials on this channel for people that are brand new, who've never done it, who don't know where to start. This channel, I can walk you through all of that. On a lot of these other side hustles, somebody out there is doing it. Somebody out there has turned it into an income. Take action and create some other streams of income. Experiment with some of these. Do some research and find something else that maybe might fit you. Try it and see if it works for you. I can tell you right now, eBay doesn't work for everybody, but it does work for some people. It works for us. I know that there's some people that where they're at, they can drive all the time and they make pretty decent money on it. They make good tips doing it. And I know that there are people that hire assistants just to photograph, just to do some of those kind of things to make their business work. But there isn't a reason at all that it couldn't be your business that you're offering that service to people. What I don't want you to do is to watch the news and listen to other people who aren't being successful and get to a point where you're down and you think that there aren't answers. The answers may not be easy. The answers may not be clear right away. The answers may require some investment and some work. Side hustles, in my opinion, I think multiple streams of income are how you fight the bad news that's on TV, that's on the internet. You battle it with action. If you think eBay might be the answer for you, this channel right here, I walk you through it as detailed as I possibly can. My channel is built around beginners to medium level sellers. I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel, come back, see if any of these things work for you. I do appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one.